You ever get that feeling, that chill, when something unthinkable happens right in the heart of America? Well, today, Washington, D.C. woke up to a story that's shaken the entire nation. A deadly ambush on two young National Guard soldiers, just blocks from the White House. Just after 2 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, during that quiet moment when office workers are grabbing coffee and tourists are snapping photos, chaos exploded near Farragut Square. Two members of the West Virginia National Guard, 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, were on high-visibility patrol near 17th and I Street. And then, out of nowhere, a man came around the corner, as Assistant Chief Jeff Carroll put it, and immediately opened fire. This wasn't random, it wasn't accidental, it was an ambush. Within seconds, Sarah and Andrew were on the ground, fighting for their lives. Within minutes, Washington's iconic landmarks, the White House, the offices, the crowded streets, turned into a scene of fear and disbelief. And within hours, America would learn the heartbreaking truth. Sarah didn't survive. And Andrew, shot multiple times, remains in critical condition. Let's step back a moment. These weren't just soldiers. These weren't anonymous uniforms. Sarah Beckstrom was just 20 years old. 20. A young woman who volunteered to work over the Thanksgiving holiday so other guardsmen could be home with their families. She gave up her comfort to protect a city that wasn't even her own. A kid with her entire future ahead of her. Gone. And Andrew Wolf, 24, continues to battle for his life. A young man who signed up to serve, to protect, to sacrifice for something bigger than himself. These are the people who carry America's promise, freedom, duty, courage on their shoulders. And they were targeted in cold blood. Minutes after the shooting, law enforcement swarmed the area. The gunman didn't get far. Officials identified him as Ramanullah Lakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national who came to the U.S. in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome, a program created after the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. During his arrest, officers shot him 4 times. He survived, and he's now in custody, reportedly refusing to cooperate. Authorities say he lived in Washington state with his wife and 5 children. He applied for asylum in 2024 and was granted it earlier this year. And now, according to the Department of Homeland Security, he will face multiple charges, including assault with intent to kill and possession of a firearm during a violent crime. If convicted, he could spend 15 years or more behind bars. The shooting didn't just shake the city, it shook the White House too. President Trump, speaking from Mar-a-Lago, didn't hold back. He called the attack an act of terror and a crime against humanity. He labeled Lakhanwal an animal and vowed to deploy an additional 500 National Guard troops to D.C. And in the hours that followed, the administration announced a stunning move. All immigration processing for Afghan nationals has been suspended. And Trump says the U.S. must re-examine every single alien who entered from Afghanistan under Biden. This tragedy has now ignited a national debate about immigration, security, trust, and the responsibility we share to keep our country safe. There are already around 2,200 National Guard members stationed in the Capitol, part of Trump's earlier response to what he called out-of-control crime. It's important to note, National Guard troops cannot enforce the law or make arrests. They are a visible force, a deterrent, a reminder of stability in a chaotic world. Sarah and Andrew were there for one reason: to keep DC safe, to keep families safe, to keep the American dream safe. In moments like this, America confronts a hard question. How do we honor the people who defend our peace when their lives are stolen in broad daylight? We honor them by remembering, by demanding truth, by insisting on accountability from our systems, our leaders, and ourselves. Because Sarah Beckstrom wasn't just a name in the news. She was a daughter, a volunteer, a protector, a young American with purpose, courage, and heart. And Andrew Wolf is still fighting for life, for hope, for another sunrise. So tonight, wherever ye be, pause, breathe, and remember the people who stand between us and the darkness. 'Cause sometimes the heroes aren't in capes. Sometimes they're 20-year-olds in uniform, standing on a cold street in Washington, D.C.